If Star Trek wants to give William Shatner's Captain Kirk the best possible comeback, it needs Chris Pine to return also. For decades, William Shatner's Captain James T. Kirk has stood as a monolith in science fiction, a brash, charming, complex leader who defined what it meant to command a starship. Though the character met his end in Star Trek Generations, and Shatner hasn't played Kirk in live action since 1994, the idea of his return never truly died. With Star Trek embracing multiversal storytelling, time travel, and nostalgia-fueled revivals, the door is open for Shatner's Kirk to come back one more time. But if the franchise wants this return to be meaningful, emotional, and impactful, not just fan service, it needs Chris Pine's Kirk by his side. The Kirk legacy is now shared. William Shatner may have originated the role, but Chris Pine revitalized it for a new generation in the Kelvin Timeline films. Pine didn't just imitate Shatner, he redefined Kirk with emotional vulnerability, impulsive bravery, and sharp wit, fitting for a 21st century audience. He made the role his own, proving that Kirk's essence was not bound to just one interpretation. That duality now defines the character. There is no longer just one Captain Kirk. There are two sides of the same heroic coin. And Star Trek, a franchise built on the concept of parallel realities and alternate selves, is perfectly positioned to explore this generational overlap. The multiverse can bridge the divide. In Star Trek 2009, the franchise embraced the multiverse by introducing the Kelvin timeline. This opened up rich storytelling potential, two versions of Spock, two timelines, and infinite possibilities. But so far, Star Trek has barely scratched the surface of what a meeting between counterparts could mean emotionally. Bringing Shatner and Pine together, literally face-to-face as Kirk and Kirk, wouldn't just be a fan-pleasing moment. It would be a thematic masterstroke. It would explore legacy, identity, and consequence in a deeply personal way. A mirror held up not to show contrast, but to reveal continuity. The impetuousness of youth and the wisdom of age, coexisting in the same scene. It's something no other Star Trek captain pairing could pull off with the same punch. There's no younger version of Picard or Sisko carrying the modern franchise's torch. But with Kirk, you have two established and beloved versions, one shaped by Cold War-era optimism, the other forged in post-9/11's grit. Their reunion could speak volumes about how heroes evolve. Shatner's return alone risks being hollow. Let's be honest. William Shatner is 93 years old. While his charisma and energy remain impressive, a solo comeback as Kirk would be physically limited and tonally tricky. It risks reducing the character to a cameo, a nostalgic wink rather than a narrative force. To avoid that, Shatner's return needs emotional stakes and character interplay. He needs someone to reflect off of, to draw out the version of Kirk fans remember, not just in uniform, but in spirit. Pine offers that reflection. He can handle the action and pathos, while Shatner delivers gravitas and closure. Together, they can tell a story about time, about mistakes, and about the burden of command. Perhaps the older Kirk imparts wisdom he never got the chance to share. Perhaps he sees the man he used to be and worries about who he might become. Perhaps he gets a chance to undo his own ending, not by cheating death, but by passing the torch with intention. Chris Pine deserves a proper send-off. Let's not forget, the Kelvin timeline is still unresolved. Star Trek Beyond ended with the crew recommitting to their 5-year mission, but no follow-up film has materialized. Chris Pine's Kirk never got a true finale. His arc, from rebellious cadet to seasoned captain, deserves a closing chapter. A crossover with Shatner could be the perfect way to end that journey. It would validate the Kelvin crew's place in canon and finally connect both timelines in a meaningful, emotional story. It could also be the event that finally gets Paramount to greenlight the long-stalled Star Trek 4. Audiences would show up for Pine and Shatner, especially together. Passing the torch, not just to the future, but across time. Star Trek is no stranger to exploring legacy. Picard, Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, all wrestle with how the past informs the present. But a Kirk and Kirk story offers something special. A way to show that identity, courage, and duty transcend even the boundaries of spacetime.